Hello guys, it's finally NBA season. I'm going to be breaking down the opening night slate for NBA. Two games here on Tuesday. It's going to be October 19th. So it's going to be Brooklyn against Milwaukee, Golden State against the Lakers. And as you guys may have heard, I joined DFS Army for this year. Going to be writing NBA articles for them. And just want to talk a little bit about that before we get into the video. So if you want to skip this part, go ahead. But DFS Army, this is their website. So once you get in here, it's basically a site full of a lot of free tools, articles, especially mine. It's going to be about tournaments, UPP for Draftkings. Initially at the start, maybe I'll get into FanDuel and maybe other different types of articles as we get later on to the season. But to start out, that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And so for my articles, again, they're free, but if you want to pay for the optimizer or some of their tools, the other ones, like I know for right now, NBA is not really loaded up yet, but like there's NFL, obviously MLB with the playoffs, NHLs. So there's just a lot of different things like you can see, just cheat sheets, all the tools and everything for all kinds of sports. So NBA is what I'm going to be doing or doing my work on. So just if you're trying to join the army, that's what they call it. This is going to be the core four package. I know a lot of people just want to play the main sports, so it's going to be NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL, and this is what you're going to get. Everything's listed here. So the domination station, that is what the optimizer is called here, and you're getting everything pretty much access to just all the things that you that is available. So that's going to be the monthly package, and then if you are interested in the VIP, which is all the other sports, this is what is just pretty much the same things that you would get in the core four, just you have access to all the different sports. So um, those are going to be the prices. And also, if you guys are actually interested in joining, I do have a code that's going to be code WILL. So just my name, WILL. And if you input that at checkout, you're going to be able to get 10% off, whether that's the VIP package or the core four. So those are two that will have the 10% discount. And then also, I will have a link to the website, all of that down below in the description. And also to for our first article, that will be probably out maybe tomorrow, I would say, just the day right before uh, the slate kicks off. So I'm going to put that link down in the comments below. But yeah, if you're interested in joining, please do check it out. And onto the slate breakdown. So looking at the first game, Brooklyn and Milwaukee, the studs overall on the slate, they are a lot cheaper than they usually are. This is just how DraftKings does it because they're trying to get people to join in. They want people to play daily fantasy. There's all new people, especially with new seasons. So they're going to price the studs down just in order for everyone to play more of the star players, the more bigger names. And so you're going to get Giannis, Harden, all these guys at a big discount. Giannis is basically $2,000 too cheap. He's one of the best fantasy players in the NBA, and then also in the matchup with the Nets, they don't have a great defense. This is going to be a high-scoring game. It has a 237.5 total right now. The Bucks are currently favored by 10 points, and the Nets, they don't have any type of like elite rebounder, so it's not going to be a concern for Giannis on that end. And then this is the Finals MVP. You know what you're going to get in Giannis. For KD 9900, I think he is going to be a very intriguing tournament option. He's actually probably the main guy am writing about for my article because Durant has the same upside as all the other studs on the slate, but he's just not priced as appealingly. So I don't think he's going to be that high on. I think probably like in the high teens maybe because definitely like Giannis, Harden, they're I would say uh, like by far the better plays just in terms of fantasy point per minute. So that's why I think Durant's a very intriguing tournament option. Now for Harden, he's also the course meta for me. I'd say he's the one of my favorite plays just next to Giannis because when you take Kyrie Irving off the floor, we're gonna get Kevin Durant, James Harden with the ball in their hands pretty much the entire game. Their minutes are going to be staggered, so even if you or like if you wanted to, you can play both of these guys together. I don't have a problem with that. Make sure you do play a buck then. If you can't get the Giannis, which you can play three 9K plus guys on this slate, but definitely play Drew or Middleton then. So definitely Harden, Giannis are going to be my priorities here. For Middleton Holiday, if you're playing them, you definitely get a different build. So say you play two studs and you go with Middleton or Holiday, that's definitely a route that people will take, but it's going to be a little bit lower owned than if you were to just pay up for 3 and then go start in the scrubs. So I do think that's also very good for tournaments. Now, Brook Lopez and Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, Connaughton, they're going to be guys that will play good minutes. Of course, Lopez and Joe Harris being the starters. Marcus Aldridge should be starting ahead of Blake. So I don't think they're going to be the best plays though. Like their minutes, um, especially Joe Harris, it should be there, but just I think they're way too expensive compared to all the other guys who are just way too cheap on this slate. So I'm not going to be a fan of those guys. And then you look at the value. I think there are a lot of intriguing 4K and under plays. So you start with Marcus Aldridge, only center eligible, but 3,900 he's back. It's good to see him healthy now. 3,900 being a starting center, you're just gonna see rebounds for him. You're gonna see him being a pick and roll, pick and pop guy. He's been able to shoot threes now, and he's gonna get his opportunities. The Bucks allow a lot of threes, a lot of attempts, a lot of makes, as we all know. So 3,900, it's way too cheap. He's not gonna play over 30 minutes probably, but he's also not priced to play that. So you're gonna get a good value here, but he's gonna definitely be very chalky. Now, I would say he's by far the better play than Paul Millsap, but if Aldridge gets into foul trouble, which it could happen, I mean, you have Giannis out there, someone who can draw a lot of fouls, going to be going to the basket, attacking the rim. Paul Millsap could be the benefit then. He's going to be a lot lower owned. He's not a bad fantasy player as well, just older. I mean, Aldridge is a vet too, but nobody really wants to play the backup. So I'm not opposed to Millsap being the pivot if you want to go for a value. Also has PF eligibility. So Grayson Allen, 3,800. Patty Mills. Both of these guys are also pivot plays for the value because Bruce Brown, 3,600. I mean, you're probably going to be playing this guy in all your lineups. If you play cash, which I don't recommend doing because it's a 2-game slate, but you just lock this guy in. He's a very good rebounder. He is going to play heavy minutes. He's going to just have to be out there without Kyrie. They can just have James Harden run the show. And Bruce Brown's just going to be out there to play a lot of defense, rebound the ball, and cut. He gets a lot of layups. Occasionally, he'll shoot the three. And he's going to get his opportunities as well, just with the Bucks defense. So Bruce Brown looks to be a very good play because of the minutes in his role. Now, going back to Mills and Allen, so just they're both 3-point shooters. Patty Mills will handle the ball a lot more, but fantasy-wise, they're not the most protected players. Like Grayson Allen is a 0.82 fantasy point per minute player. Patty Mills 0.74 last season. Now they're both on new teams, so it's going to be a little bit different, especially when they're playing alongside different big stars. But I think Grayson Allen will be the better player out of Patty Mills just slightly, and that is due to the fact that he's one, a better fantasy point per minute player, and two, he's going to be starting. And the Nets, they also do a lot of threes, partly due to the fact that they're just not as good of a defensive team as the Bucks. But um, there's no Dante DiVincenzo in this game, so his minutes should be pretty good in the mid 20s. They could definitely close with Pat Connaughton ahead of him, but I think Grayson Allen should be able to start and play like 25 minutes. And as long as he does shoot the ball, I mean, just make a few threes maybe, and then he can rebound a little bit, and then he gets a steal. Definitely enough. You don't really need him 5x, especially because you want to fit in the studs. So I think Grayson Allen is fine. And that's pretty much it for this game. Now on to the second game. So I think Steph Curry is your spend up here because the Lakers have they have a big three. And that is concerning because the Lakers should be able to win this game. But there are definitely some concerns with just the spacing and also their defense right now because the Lakers, if we just look at them, they have Trevor Ariza who is going to miss 8 weeks. THT is currently out missing 4 weeks. And you have a lot of questionable players. So I believe Monk and Nunn did practice on Sunday. Yeah, Monk did and Nunn did. So they should be available. Wayne Ellington, though, did not. So my guess is that both of them will play. Now Ellington probably misses, but that probably means that you're going to see Kent Bazemore starting then, and he's probably going to be the only or the best defender then in that case, and that's just really not a concern for Curry. Like Bazemore probably defends him, but he's not known as an elite lockdown. Curry just being able to play pretty much by himself, having all the usage in the world, is what draws me to him over the Lakers guys. And still, without Klay Thompson, Wiggins certainly is not a stud. And then you got Draymond, who just is able to facilitate very well for Curry, setting screens and passing the ball. So I like Curry. Jordan Poole, 4,800, he looks like to be a solid mid-range option. You don't really have a lot of these guys around 5K, so I think he looks the best, but also his ownership is too high. I kind of want to go away from that just because he's pretty much shot dependent. Now, his minutes should be safe because he's had a fantastic preseason. Looking at the other players like Otto Porter, 5,300, I think he should have a good role. I do like this guy for like your season long leagues like 9cat, but um, without play right now and also just his ability to be a 3 and D, I think he looks to be an intriguing piece for the Warriors side. But for DFS, I don't think he's like the best play today or for this slate because his price just seems a little bit expensive. But yeah, the Warriors, I feel like it's going to be Curry, and then I would say the other option down here would be Bielitsa. So 3,400 without Wiseman right now, he should see some backup center minutes. He is a stretch big. He's more of a power forward, but they're going to use him at center. He's not fast, so he's too slow to be a four. And he's not a good defender, but he's able to shoot the three ball. He's going to be important for this Warriors offense. So I think he's a very good play for value. Probably going to be a lot lower owned than the other guys, and he definitely has a pretty good upside. He's actually pretty productive if you've played DFS in the previous years. Like when he was on the Wolves, sometimes he would be starting alongside like I think it was when they had Butler, Wiggins, and Towns on that Wolves team. So he was productive with those guys, and with the Warriors now, it's basically Curry and Wiggins and Poole as the shot takers, and then you have Bielitsa. So I think he's pretty good here. And then on to the Lakers side. So um, it's gonna be difficult to pick out who is going to be like the best fantasy option out of this team because LeBron, he's just getting old. He's gonna start declining, but I mean, we've been saying that for how long, right? And then Westbrook, he's the triple double machine, but now he has to take I don't want to say a backseat, but you're gonna probably see him not average a triple double anymore. Rebounds are gonna go down. They have Dwight, DeAndre Jordan, AD, probably playing a lot of center this year, and then you have LeBron. So assists with Rondo as well. Just everything should go down for Westbrook, but I think it could be more efficient. And he's also not priced to be that 11, 12K stud. So I don't think his price is that bad. I think people might overreact to it and think that Westbrook isn't a good play because of the team, but maybe he is too cheap. So I think Westbrook also looks to be an interesting option. Again, depends on ownership. Now, LeBron 80, so LeBron at 9K, he's definitely in play, but I would say for fantasy, like there are just so many guys that have surpassed him. Giannis, Harden, they're all going to be better plays. I would say Curry as well, and you're only paying a little bit more for them. Now 80, 800, if he starts at center, I think that's going to just make him a lot more intriguing because DeAndre Jordan and White, they just rebound the ball at really high rates. And when you get 80 at center, you're going to see him having a lot more rebounds. Like we've seen him just get like 3 or 5 rebounding games. So sometimes he plays kind of soft. That's annoying when you roster him, but 80, 800, we know the kind of talent that this guy has. Now, going back to the value, so Bazemore, he should start here with Ellington unlikely to be available, and he's going to be their best defender ahead of Monk and Nunn, obviously. Now, I would say he's going to be chalky then if they're going to announce that he is going to start 3,600 because just an unknown name, a 3 and D guy, and he's going to be too cheap because he's going to be able to get starter minutes. I don't think he's going to play like 30 plus, but um, just you're looking for value here under 4K. Now, if you want to get different, sure, I think Monk and Nunn are in play because they both can really shoot the ball, especially Monk. He could fill it up in limited time. I would say if this game blows out, which I don't think it would because Lakers, they probably will need some time to just get that chemistry going, and it's only a 4-point spread. So if you think it does blow out, then sure, I think Monk could get some blowout run, or Austin Reeves, I guess, but I don't think you want to play him when it looks like Nunn and Monk are going to be available. Now, Carmelo Anthony, 3,900, shot dependent, but I mean, he's going to take them when he's out there. He's going to score. So 3,900, I think, is going to be a little bit overowned though because of his name. Now, if DeAndre Jordan starts, he's going to be one of the better value options. So make sure that you do have your later players in your util spot. And if you're not playing a center, make sure that you keep that open for someone in the late game. And then Rondo is the last guy I'm going to mention. So 3,700, I think it could be the pivot to Kent Bazemore off of him because He's $100 more at a different position. He's one of the better fantasy producers in the game. We know he rebounds at a high rate. He's going to have a high assist total. He gets steals, and occasionally he'll score some points. So, I mean, it's not good that Kendrick Nunn is going to be available because I think Nunn could definitely be the backup point. But I don't think Rondo's going to DMP, and if he gets out there, he plays some good minutes, or if Nunn and Monk do end up missing the game, I think he looks like to be a very good fantasy an option for this slate for value. So for right now, not knowing the statuses of those later guys, I think you have to play the studs in this first game. So that's going to be, of course, Harden and then Giannis. And then I would say you play a third stud here. So it's easier if you just go with Curry at point and you can plug in Harden at shooting guard. And that 4260, that looks hard to do, but if you just look at the value, again, we discussed a lot of or under 4K options, you go with Bazemore. Um, and then you have Aldridge and I would mention also, I don't think I mentioned Bobby Portis. 4K, he's going to play. He was just out for rest. It should be. So he's a very productive player. You should definitely be looking at him. He's not going to play many minutes, but when he's out there, he will be very productive. So he's another guy to monitor. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of 4K and undervalued plays that are going to allow you to pay up for free studs. So that's the kind of build that I am looking for this slate. So that's going to be the breakdown for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I will post my article, the link to my article down below in the comments. And if you have any questions about joining or the slates or anything in DFS in general, please don't hesitate to ask me. You can also ask me on my Twitter. That will be in the link in the description below. That's going to be WLin018. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I probably can't put out a lot of videos this year just because I have to focus on writing. But for the weekends, I should be pretty active on Twitter. So, yeah, always going to be happy to help you guys out. Thank you for all the support and hoping that this is going to be the start of a huge year for all of us. So, again, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.